Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Cryptenomics, where we just hang out and chat crypto and have a good time.
Yep.
My name is Mike, and this is Aaron. So, if you're new, sit back, relax, and we'll be chatting about some news that's happened over the past week and everything that's happening in crypto.
Yeah. I'm going to try and not spill my beer on myself this episode.
Yeah, last time that was last episode, right? You spilled it?
Maybe two, but yeah, I'm going to try not to do that.
Yeah. So
it's not my highest moment.
So yeah, there's been some interesting things happening. Bill Gates.
Yeah,
right?
Bill Gates. Come on, dude. Like, you got this billionaire over here, and he's trying to take away our moon.
Yeah, so, if you haven't heard, Bill Gates, openly said, I believe along with Warren Buffett, that he would short Bitcoin if he could. And it's a shame because I remember maybe around a year ago in another interview, he spoke highly of crypto, saying that he saw use cases for it and how it's in some ways better than the money that we have now because it's not physical and many other reasons. Seeing him now not speak highly of Bitcoin and blockchain, I hate to say it, but like maybe he's a little outdated in some ways.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been a big fan of Bill Gates. I think that he's ridden a lot of other people's waves, and he's a great businessman, but I think that he takes credit for far more than he's done. And I think that's really, his big credit is that he's an excellent businessman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he really doesn't see the future of it, maybe he just really doesn't understand it that well.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he's never been some like wild technologist. He's not, this big tech. We know him as this technology guy, but I think he gets that credit.
He's not the Wozniak.
He's definitely not the Wozniak. So I would never imagine him to be, on the forefront of something like crypto. But to come out and have this like very public negative opinion of it, I think definitely lessens my opinion of him a bit.
Yeah, and well, as it was nice to see the Winklevoss twins though fight back with some backlash. In response, the Winklevoss twins actually tweeted at Bill Gates and they said like, "Put your money where your mouth is because you can short it even on the futures market. You don't have to sign up. Bill Gates doesn't have to sign up on a crypto site. They can just he could just go on the futures market and just short it. But
yeah,
that's just all good fun controversy.
And just to play devil's advocate, maybe he doesn't think crypto is garbage, but maybe he just thinks that it's inflated right now.
Which is fine.
Which is definitely a way more, it's not how the statement's being portrayed, but that would certainly be a more rational thing, a more rational opinion to have.
I mean, it's just, there's
Less
something
polarizing.
stronger. There's something stronger about saying I would short Bitcoin right now if I could versus I think it's a little inflated.
No, yeah. It's a polarizing
It's just much
statement.
more active.
You're definitely like trying to instigate.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. But in more positive light, Facebook now is starting its own little blockchain efforts.
Yeah.
And reorganizing their whole infrastructure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I didn't hear that they were reorganizing their whole infrastructure, but I know that
they're redoing actually like who's in charge of the major aspects of their. Let me try to bring up the article real quick.
So I know that they're putting David Marcus, who was previously head of messaging and formerly president at PayPal. He's going to be kind of, as I read it, he was going to be looking into how blockchain can be applied internally at Facebook, how it can improve their internal processes. And I'm sure there are numerous ways where that will come true, could be true. But it's definitely interesting to see them, approaching it. Whereas previously, all we've really heard from Facebook was, stuff like no crypto ads and
the Zuck laying down the law, dude.
Generally negative stuff. I mean, they're definitely having some issues with, content on Facebook right now, so I get it. But
David Marcus is an interesting dude, though. I looked into him a little bit more.
Yeah, so did I.
He has an impressive background.
Yeah, he does.
He was the president of PayPal.
Yep.
But then he also bought and sold a couple companies. I mean, started and sold companies. One was called Zong, which was acquired by eBay.
What did Zong do? Do you know?
And it's funny that eBay owns PayPal, but Zong was a website that just allows. I think it was an earlier website that allowed users to pay for items online with their cell phone.
Interesting. eBay no longer owns PayPal.
Oh, really? They're not a
They
subsidiary?
split off.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. Because I know when PayPal went public, like real quick, eBay snagged it up.
That was true for a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly how recently this happened. But yeah, in the last few years, they split off, I think.
Interesting. So yeah, hopefully he does well with that and promotes blockchain even as it becomes more in the limelight.
I don't see it as like nothing's gonna pump as a result of this.
Yeah.
But it definitely is good. What we keep talking about on the show, adoption. That's what it's all gonna come down to is mass adoption, getting more people and more institutions to utilize blockchain technology. And the currency aspect is not the end game here.
Right. Sorry, I got beer on my laptop.
That was a close call there. You almost pulled a bait.
Yeah. It's interesting though. What will pump crypto? I think one thing that could help crypto get mainstream is I've been thinking about really rewording cryptocurrency to something else, calling it digital assets or internet assets, even internet money at first.
Well, the phrase digital assets definitely thrown around right now, and I agree.
I like
think
it better.
It's a better term. Your cryptocurrency definitely like kind of pigeonholes the whole industry.
Yeah, and it's also a little more convoluted. I think that the average person can be a little creative and visualize a digital asset better than if you tell them a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I think it pigeonholes like the whole industry. Like you don't see anything beyond currency.
Yeah,
and that's where a lot of people keep getting hung up. Around the money aspect of it, but there's certainly
because there's CryptoKitties. There's so many meaningful digital assets out there now.
Meaningful digital assets,
CryptoKitties, Crypto Doges.
I think more are coming. We've talked about CryptoKitties. Ultimately, I think that was
I think it's an awesome idea.
I think that was an awesome thing to happen. The Ethereum community saw some weak points in the system, but moreover, we saw how like this can be applied far beyond currency. It was definitely, the first kind of eye-opening moment for that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they start putting like Magic the Gathering cards.
So that's the greatest example. We've talked about this before. I think that Magic the Gathering is like such a given, and if they're not working on a blockchain project, they really should be, because
Now, a counter argument to that though is that people can still say that even a centralized company can distribute a limited number of cards, but the difference, I guess, is that it's not tied to you.
That's true.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't inherently need to be this wildly decentralized, system. But I think it would be cool. I played Magic the Gathering way back in the day. It would be cool to know, like, all right, I have this card, and it's, like, truly one of, 20 in the world. And it's, like, verifiable and provable. It's, like, mine.
Yeah.
No question about that. I think that
you could see the transaction on the blockchain of like this,
I opened this pack, and
this devil character went to you.
Exactly. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that Wizards of the Coast should definitely be.
And it does get rid of corruption. So a centralized company can do it, but you have to fully trust them. And
when you have a game like Magic the Gathering, like you don't need this wildly trustless system.
No, you don't. Yeah.
But I think it definitely helps. You don't have like fake cards, and I don't know how much of an issue that really is, but like. I
think in the real world it could be an issue.
Yeah,
I don't know
could be. Well, it definitely is an issue, but I don't know how big of a deal it is. I guess I'm saying, like, does it really matter that people are printing fake cards? Like, I'm sure some people care.
Yeah,
but it's a cool application either way.
Mike Novogratz of Galaxy. So Galaxy is a big crypto hedge fund by Mike Novogratz, who's a
we talked about
Wall Street
influencers
veteran.
last week. I don't think we mentioned Mike, but he's definitely a good person to follow on Twitter if you're into crypto.
Yeah, and what's awesome is that he partnered with Bloomberg, and they actually released a benchmark index on Bloomberg, which institutional traders and any traditional equity trader can now have access to this benchmark and make some bets. Let's see. I have the site up. The weightings of the benchmark is mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. 30% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum, 14%.
No, don't say it.
Ripple, a little more than 14.14%, 10.65% Bitcoin Cash. I know.
So we're at almost 30% shitcoins now.
Yeah, pretty much. About 25%. EOS is on there. I'm a little surprised because they just launched, but they're huge. 6%, 3% Litecoin, 1.6% Dash, 1.6% Monero, 1% Ethereum Classic, 1% Zcash.
Interesting.
So screw Bitcoin private. I'm glad Zcash got on there.
Yeah.
And that's all good stuff. I mean, look.
Honestly, I'm a little peeved that Bitcoin Cash made it on there. Ripple, not even as much.
Well, it's just because it makes such a large part of the market cap right now. So you can change indexes over time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that'll get updated hopefully once Bitcoin Cash dies one day, inevitably.
Burns in the fire.
Yeah. In light of all of this, I really believe that we're going to break past the and I'm not a TA guy. I'm definitely more of a fundamental long-term investor, but I really think that in the next couple months we're going to break past that $20,000 mark. There's just a lot fueling. I mean, even from our business of what we know, almost, we've heard from some brokerages that we've spoken with that almost like 2/3 of all funds being created are dabbling in crypto in one way or another. Bloomberg partnering with Galaxy to make this benchmark is huge. What else there? New York Stock Exchange plans to offer Bitcoin swap contracts so people can actually engage in a bet with the New York Stock Exchange. But what's cool about this is that they're not paying you out in US dollar of some, if you win and the swap contract goes well, you're not getting paid in US dollar. They actually will pay you out in actual Bitcoin.
That's awesome.
That's pretty major.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far in 2018, I think there's been like a 15% increase in the rate of crypto hedge funds being created.
Tax implications there are.
I don't know, it's probably some BS where like your cost basis is whenever they're delivered to you, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
It's a super interesting, situation because like the way that the government is handling taxes right now, you will not have
it's bullshit.
The cash to pay your taxes based on, the way that they're treating things. So, it's interesting that they're going to return to you Bitcoin. I'm very interested to see how taxation is definitely going to have to evolve a bit more.
Because they need to revamp it. It doesn't make sense.
The system they have right now, like, I get it. We've spent a lot of time going through this. It makes some sense. There's some logic to it. But the fundamental flaw, which is huge, is that you don't have the cash.
It's consistent, but not practical.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at least in the stock market. So, there are people who have fallen to this in the stock market who have made $1 million in profits. And then they put that $1 million back into stocks, and then they have an issue paying their taxes.
Right.
That sucks, but you had an opportunity at least to think ahead and understand how the system
works.
You were
holding the US dollar at some point.
But going crypto, from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and you're paying that in cash, and you have to pay taxes in cash, you never even had the opportunity to touch cash. And then to get the cash to sell is another tax implication.
Exactly. So you'll be selling it. I mean, it's like almost an infinite loop where you're trying to sell some to pay your taxes, but then you're going to hit more taxes selling that, and it's just like
it's
never
stupid.
ending.
No, it's really stupid. Consistent, not practical. They need to really revamp that, and I hope that there's attorneys. I hope different Bitcoin foundations are working on that because it's got to happen. Like that can't keep
no
flying. Yeah,
we'll see if it even makes it into that's what they're saying how you're going to be taxed for 2018. Let's see if they don't issue a revision before then.
Yeah. So a lot of positive things in the crypto world, which is why I think we're going to break that $20,000 mark. I'm not going to make a prediction that we're going to hit $100,000 or $1 million or something stupid like that.
You're not going to eat your own dick if we don't hit 250K.
I won't eat my own dick, but I do think it's going to break past 20,000 in the next 4 months. I would say. Yes. I wouldn't be very surprised by that. There's just so much fueling it. Bloomberg benchmark, New York Stock Exchange getting involved, Nasdaq's willing to help and license out some of their software. Silicon Valley pump.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know how many of you guys watch Silicon Valley, the HBO show, but last week, crypto got a nice front and center feature in the episode.
The name of the episode was Initial Coin Offering.
Yeah.
You can't get any more legit than that.
You can't get any more legit than that.
And they were saying Piper Coin. They did an ICO to raise $30 million. And there's this one character. His name is Guilfoyle. And he's this sort of... security engineer, anarchist, Satanist, yeah. And in the show now, they're not even saying blockchain or hinting at Bitcoin. Now they're just full out saying cryptocurrencies. I love crypto and crypto's here to stay, and we're going to do an ICO. And they're using the real terminology. Hopefully, the average schmo who's watching Silicon Valley, who doesn't know about Bitcoin somehow. I feel like most of the viewers know about it. but I'm sure there's some.
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
Never know.
It's an interesting one.
I don't know how much overlap there is. Yeah,
You'd think that there would be a lot, but I think the show has way more mass appeal than like the actual tech does.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting to see, they did such a good job of making that episode like super relevant. This isn't the first time that crypto has been featured in, pop culture. We had a Big Bang Theory episode, and by the time that episode aired, Bitcoin had already like surpassed the price they were referring to it in the episode by like 2x. So I think that Silicon Valley, the writers definitely took heed of that, and they didn't mention anything that could hit them too hard. And I think they made an effort to shoot the episode as close to when it was going to air as possible, because it definitely had the feeling of being very current.
Mm-hmm. No, agreed. So that's cool. Oh yeah, and then also Robinhood raised how much was it?
360 million.
Yeah, like $360 million Series D. And they're saying that one major focus of them is to expand and create the largest cryptocurrency platform. So all these exchanges better watch out. Robinhood's going to come in swinging, and I think that's huge for the traditional investors. Imagine a GDAX that also was already popular, offering equities and options.
Yeah. So Robinhood, just to clarify, they raised $363 million at a $5.6 billion valuation. Good for them. Fucking killing it.
Yeah. I've heard good things and bad things about their platform, but at the end of the day, they're making headlines that involve crypto, so I'm down with it.
I haven't heard too much negative about them. I see a lot of people that I would never imagine like are into trading, equities, that are like posting screenshots of their like Robinhood account. And I think that it has gotten our generation into, trading equities a little bit more and investing in that way. I think that it was something that was very unapproachable for, our generation and younger. Mm-hmm. And they're definitely, working hard to solve that problem.
Yeah. Now, something I have been thinking about that's unfortunate with crypto is that there's a lot of enthusiasm around Bitcoin and the concept of Ethereum and Zcash and different currency coins. But in terms of the larger effort of, trying to decentralize the internet and create all these decentralized apps, it's unfortunate that the number of dApps being created and ICOs being launched far, far exceeds any usage metrics of these dApps. No one is actually using them. Even the ones that are completed, you can go on like dApp search type of sites and see that some of these are live, and they're just like not being used. There's no community around it.
I think that's a factor of, right now crypto is full of a lot of like technologists, early adopters, just general tech guys, developers, and they all want to, be involved to build something that's kind of their wheelhouse. So that will definitely lead to way more software than users at this point. But I think we're going to, over time, we'll see that flip as we kind of build on this mass adoption and stuff like crypto. It's going to take developers making more apps than there are people to kind of get to those crypto kitties and, Magic the Gathering on the blockchain, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just been a shame that like I've seen some like gaming ICOs that are just games and they raise like, $25 million to make their game. And some of them are live and they're just still not being used.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a shame, yeah.
I agree. But I think I think that'll change.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But it's just the state of things right now.
Yeah, and people have to, you have to get comfortable using MetaMask.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you used MetaMask?
Not personally, no.
It's a great little piece of software, great, Chrome extension pretty much, but I think they could still make things easier. I mean, it's definitely not ready for mainstream use. Definitely not. Especially because they're kind of piggybacking on Coinbase. When you go into MetaMask,
aren't they owned by Coinbase?
I'm not even sure, but when you go into MetaMask, you can choose to buy Bitcoin straight through, or Ethereum straight through Coinbase, and you can auto link it to your account. So it's almost like anyone who has a Coinbase account, that MetaMask is really easy to use. But if you're just an average person who's trying to get in,
they're a consensus company.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. And now people are starting to make crazy predictions just because there is some hype happening again around crypto. There's a little bit more of a frenzy that I could feel is starting. based off of the news that we just said. And now there's people like, Omar Baum, who's a big crypto YouTuber. I like him a lot. But in his last video, he was saying how crypto's going to hit $1 million soon. And it's like, people need to...
That's a broad statement. Crypto's going to...
Bitcoin. And, people need to take a step back because all of those also hurt us. People who are skeptical about getting into crypto...
They hear this shit and it sounds so outlandish.
Because it is outlandish and it's bullshit. And people should start being more real and more mature in this market. Otherwise, we're never going to get some of that low-hanging fruit of people who are interested, but they just want to see some more legitimacy in the way that like people communicate with each other in the industry. It's hurting that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if anything else that big happened in the past week.
Yeah, we came across a couple cool projects that we were talking about.
More around the trading side of things.
Yeah, there's Decrypt.
Yeah, Decrypt, just DCRYPT. They seem to be in like a beta, or like you could see a free trial of them.
That was more of like a trading solution?
Yeah,
like
Coinigy competitor.
Gotcha.
Same thing as the other project we were looking at, Via.world.
Gotcha.
VIA.world. They're a decentralized trading platform as well. So there's a lot of...
Is Decrypt decentralized?
I'm not even sure. Let's see. Decrypt.
I don't remember seeing that when we were looking at them the other day.
Decrypt.io. No, I don't think they're decentralized.
Yeah. I mean, it is a local application, so they may be minimizing how much, of your information they're storing, but it's not, blockchain technology.
Yeah, they're sort of like Trade Dash.
Is Via.world decentralized?
Yeah, they are. It's interesting to watch, all of these sort of Coinigy and live trading platform competition spring about, because that'll at least, I believe that competition does make better products.
So it's interesting. Via.world is decentralized in a similar sense to you could say Decrypt is decentralized. They're not advertising it that way, but Via.world really they're not storing any of your data. Nothing that you're doing in their local application passes through their servers. You're communicating directly with the exchanges. Mm-hmm. So it's decentralized in that sense, but also, not taking advantage of any blockchain tech or anything, which is fine. We're going to need, like we've said, tangible, real companies that aren't necessarily on the blockchain to kind of help this industry along. But it's a different kind of decentralized, and I think what most people think of when, talking about that in this space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, between all of this that's happening, I would say now is the perfect time to hodl. Maybe not the perfect time to enter. It depends how much money you have. But I think that we're starting to go on an uptrend. And if you're already in...
Why don't you think it's the greatest time to enter?
Because I think we're going to start pumping soon. But we've already started, though. Pumping is what I'm saying. Like, people had so much time to get in $5,000 to $8,000 range.
If you haven't gotten in and you're buying in now, I don't feel bad for you.
I don't feel bad for you.
But is now a bad time to buy in?
I'm not sure. But
obviously, none of this is financial or investment advice.
I wouldn't say it's ever a bad time to buy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I think that there's ways to make a better average entry. So I think that we're gonna pump real soon, and it's already started to pump. I mean, once it broke 9,000, that was like kind of a point for me as an investor, where I'm good just holding and I could just watch it go up, but it's gonna come back probably to like the 8,000-7,000s. Getting in on something $2,000 less is a big deal.
But we've said in the past, if you look at it on the grand scheme, if you look at this 10 years out, our belief, at least my belief, is that
if we're seeing six-figure coins,
buying at 10,000, buying at 15,000 won't actually have been a bad buy-in.
No, it's not. It's just a practical level. Everyone who got in at 16,000 a few months ago is hurting right now.
Yeah, they are.
That's all.
But you could also say from the flip side that then buying at 9,000 is a pretty good bet. We have a high confidence that we're going to see at least the previous all-time high, if not push that.
Yeah. No, you could definitely 2x. I think it's. I mean, I don't think it's a horrible time to buy. It's just that you really missed your optimal times again.
No question there. Like, if you've been thinking about it and you still haven't done it, like, you definitely missed the prime opportunity.
Yeah, do it, but it's a shame you have been waiting this long.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn again, but eventually it's going to go back below 9,000.
If you waited this long, you will probably have a hard lesson coming when you finally buy in. But it's not to dissuade you from buying in. you should still, get your feet wet in some way or another.
Yeah, no, definitely buy and hold. It's definitely not sell time. So
yeah, definitely, it's definitely not sell time.
And maybe it's never sell time. Hopefully it keeps going and it just becomes the moon. That's the goal.
When moon, Mike.
Yeah,
when moon.
Yeah. Oh, there's a company project called Skycoin that just released this song, horrible song, but it's funny, I guess, called Lambo Moon.
Lambo Moon.
I think you listened to it. I was playing in the background before.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Definitely, we've seen some crypto music coming out. I can't say I've really enjoyed any of it. That was definitely like close to an enjoyable song.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think that sums things up.
Yeah, I think that's everything we had for today.
Yeah, so keep an eye out on the Bloomberg benchmark. Keep an eye out on what Facebook's doing. Keep an eye out on the New York Stock Exchange swaps. All of this is good stuff. Despite Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or other speculators talking down about it, they are here to stay. The numbers are going up. The number of transactions is increasing. The number of users is increasing, getting onboarded into the world. So, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hodl and prosper.
Yeah, hodl and prosper.
Yeah.
And related to the show, something for our viewers to keep an eye out for, Cryptenomics will be going live in the near future. So keep an eye out for us on Twitch.
Yeah.
And that'll be coming soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.